I'm Richard Graves.
Samantha. Sammy.
Sammy. This boy is...
Isaiah. Isaiah Miller, President Graves' assistant. First time saying that.
President. Oh, that's right. I knew I recognized you from somewhere, man, but honestly, I kind of thought you were dead.
Did you always envision Nick Nolte for this role?
I did. I always envisioned Nick Nolte. This is a case where the actor completely dictated the part. Greg Shapiro's producer, produced my first film. He came to me, said there's an idea about just a retired president in the desert. And for a couple of years, I just couldn't see it because sort of inherently ex-presidents are not very interesting. They sort of fade away, and they're a bit dull after their presidency. But then he kept needling me, and then I thought, well, what about Nolte? You know, he's sort of this guy who's gruff and whiskey-soaked voice and sort of a train wreck, and that's an ex-president that I might want to see. And then I kind of imbued it with this idea that he was a president after his presidency, looking back 25 years later and sort of going on a quest to right all of his presidential wrongs. And Nolte just, I heard him, and as I wrote it, I channeled that, and there it was.
I want to talk a little bit about Celia Ward's casting. Originally, the role went to Susan Sarandon, and then at the last minute, she backed out. Yeah. What was that like?
Susan was great, and she had worked with Nick and Lorenzo's Oil, and she was attracted to the role. Playing a Republican first lady was actually interesting casting, I thought, given her own personal politics. But there was a bit of anxiety and creative differences, which is truly mutual, I think it was. And a week before, it was like it wasn't going to happen. And I had spoken to the network, and I said, we have Nick, who's this film personality. He's got all of that energy and that stuff that he brings, that drift from his own life, We need it grounded and with a very elegant, wonderful actress who kind of comes off as being this amalgamation of Jackie O and Laura Bush, and Celia to me is amazing, and she's this sort of TV royalty, and he's sort of film royalty in his own way. So the combination of their energy, and you can never know when you're casting whether there'll be that energy on screen, and sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, but this time it really did work.
They're giving you the Reagan Award, sir, honoring your transformational presidency.
Well, who cares? They gave that award to Dan Quayle, didn't they?
Well, it's not about any award. I need you there. I'm going to announce my Senate candidacy at RPAC. Margaret Graves for Senate is officially a go.
It's the party showing full support.
The new chapter, Angel.
Oh, yes. New chapter. I need to get out a bit.
When Greg and I had worked on the script, and I'd written it for Nick, and I've never done that. So specifically thought this is a Nick Nolte show, and if he doesn't want to do it, I wasn't quite sure who would play the role. I mean, it was that specific on the page, and Nick read it, and he said he got through the first 10 pages and had to stop because he didn't know, could it continue this way? Because very often you get through a script and 15 pages in, it just falls apart. And you got to the end, and he just, he loved it. And part of that is I played on a lot of the themes that I kind of intuited Nick was dealing with. I worked with Nick on my first film. Issues of mortality, issues of redemption, issues of redefining yourself at any point in your life. So I think these are things that spoke to him.
Mm-hmm. The cast is just universally great. I mean, it's like it's kind of an all-star team in a way. Do you look at that and think, wow, this is beyond my expectations in terms of all the people that we were able to get for this show?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, the casting is everything, And this is it's a show that you put your passion into, and I put into so much of what I believe and I think about, and it's you want people to see it, and you want people to recognize it, and listen and hear it and enjoy it and laugh. And without those actors, it would be nothing.
Does the current political climate influence what you're writing? Do you find yourself steering clear of certain things because it's happening in real life?
when I was done with season 1, Mark Greenberg, who is the CEO of Epix, said it's going to matter who wins the election. And I thought it's not going to matter who wins the election. The show is the show. But it actually did. You know, I think that a lot of the underlying themes, it's not on the nose, it's not so specific to what's gone on, but a lot of the things the country is grappling with will show itself in the show. And it's a different season. It's a bit more personal. It's a more introspective, a slow brewing season, whereas season 1 was sort of out of the gate, Don Quixote, you know, I'm going to right the wrongs, you know, issue by issue. It changes a little bit season 2.